Okay, hello YouTube. We were out on the farm again today doing some shooting. We got our first ballistic gel block and wanted to try out some ammunition in that. Kind of some maybe home defense ammunition, see what it would do. I was interested mostly in the gold dot, and so we got some gold dot 55 grain. And then we were using some other ammunition too, which I'll go over in a second. We were firing mostly out of the M&P-15 16-inch barrel on the right. I shot one shot out of my 20-inch barrel rifle on the left. It's just made out of a Delton upper, Anderson lower, and other parts from everywhere. But it's a very good rifle. So if I get the block in view here, it's kind of hard to see. The block is starting to kind of cloud over. But the first shot we took was the gold dot from left to right, and it started kind of expanding right away. You have a pretty good size temporary and permanent wound cavity here, and then it continued on, almost popped out of the top of the block, but it all held together, and so you've got a good, it expanded. You've got a good about half-inch slug right there that made it, well, it might have made it to the end of the block if it didn't go up to the top and try to get out, but probably 14 inches or so penetration. So then the next shot we took, it's going to be kind of hard to see here, but it was a Browning 50 grain varmint round from right here, and you can see that it immediately dumped all its energy and shrapnel, tons of shrapnel just right in that area. It did have a pretty significant piece that kept on going out to about 12 to 14 inches, maybe about a third of the weight of it. It's hard to see behind those other shots, but it did have a piece that did penetrate quite a bit. And then the next shot is also difficult to see here. It's very light colored, but we came in right over here, and this was the full metal jacket. It definitely had the biggest temporary cavity. It definitely caused the most amount of trauma on the block. It bounced all over the place and contorted, but we did lose it out of the end of the block, so we lost the round. But that's the one that I shot out of the 20-inch barrel just for fun. The two shots that I was kind of surprised about, after we had done those others, we turned the block around, and so we have two shots coming in from this direction, just one on top of the other basically, and those are the Hornady Frontier, just the cheap brown box, and they're 55 grain hollow point boat tail, but the hollow points in those are more of those match type with the really small hollow point. But so when you fired it in, there was something happening almost right away. And then you got these two, or each one had its own cavity here with quite a bit of fragmentation. You can see that here in the video, just all over the place. But you still had significant pieces that made it past. Here's one that's still in, and I think the one from up here is this one that I found. It's probably about a little over a 1/4 inch, but it did mushroom out. And so I was really surprised at those. I like the gold dot because it holds together, and you're going to end up with a 1/2 inch slug. But in terms of doing damage, these Frontier hollow points did a pretty good job also.